love the Power Glove. It's so good. Yeah, well, just keep your Power Gloves off her, pal, huh?
Happy birthday to you. Welcome to the finale to Goosebumps HorrorTown. It came from the internet, part 4. This is going to be an interesting one because there's some maymays when it comes to the dialogue, and oh boy, are there a lot. But before we do, I want to get out address that on the 30th of May was the anniversary to the game, so hooray, second anniversary. This part we're going to focus on all the stuff that's happened, and like most, I had to wait until the event finally ended for me to finally complete this, so yeah, have fun with this one. In this part, we're going to be finally talking about the doctor himself, Dr. Bronstien. And before we begin, I wanted to go ahead and address something. If you can guess what this character's reference is based off of. Now, Doc Brown and Rex Sanchez from Rick and Morty is usually obvious candidates for here. However, that's not what it was. As I said beginning of the event, I think in part 2, I hinted that it sounded like this guy was a bit of an Aussie, and I know I did a bad job of trying to portray that. I apologize, I suck, I know. But yes, he has an Aussie voice. So the question remains is, what exactly does that mean? Well, believe it or not, this is actually, his design is based off of the skin of Dr. Junkenstein. Yes, the skin for Junkrat from Overwatch was the inspiration to how Dr. Brownstein would look. And I can see why, because of the whole electrical things that go on it. Yeah, so, the fun fact, that was what the reference was kind of loosely on, I think, from what I was told. And I could see some of the resemblance, but honestly, it kind of, like, I'll give the designer props for making him a little bit more unique from the reference given, so kudos to him for doing that. Yeah, so we got that, and then we're also going to be taking a look more into Spider as well as the creation of it. Like, what is his deal, why is he here kind of deal. So, yeah, a lot to go for. So let's go ahead and dive right in, because this video is going to be a bit of a lengthy one, isn't it? Ooh boy. We're going to have some fun with it, shall we? First things first, the Deep Web Pack. This is the pack that comes with Dr. Bronstien, and unfortunately the second unique character, so I have a bad feeling this is going to be something moving forward. So this is what his pack comes in. I'm going to show you what it is fully, because he does actually come with the meteorite, by the way. One thing I will mention though, and then this is his Deep Web Pack pop-up here, and then this is what it looks like if you're a new player. So as you can see, you actually get the alien meteorite, as well as some other items here too. One thing I will mention though is that during my review portion that's going to come up, I didn't mention anything when it deals with the land expansion, due to the fact that the land expansion is more of a quality of life thing, and usually these reviews are looking at the actual content, limited time content. The land stuff will always be there, and it will always change with anything. So that's why I'm not going to address it so much, but yeah, I will mention it here. The land has gotten a little bit too expensive for some players. And to be fair, and just to say, I understand what they're trying to go with here, or trying to make it kind of like, oh, this keeps you busy to play the game. It's like, yeah, I get that, but sometimes there's a thing of keeping us busy and having it be like, oh, too bad, you're going to have to do this. Which, you know, talking to a bunch of people aren't happy with. And, yeah, you know, these types of games are going to always get a mixed feeling, and, yeah, all that stuff and more. But it'll be interesting for this quest line, because we're going to actually see the final prizes, which is the book, as well as the grand prize, which is the cake. And I know a lot of people are like, what does this have to do with this event? And I'm like, well, technically it's because of this game's second anniversary. But it's like, yeah, but still. And I'm like, yeah. I know. I mean, the cake, I get what the cake was trying to do. But, I don't know how to feel about it. I'll give it credit. I mean, okay, compared to the one we got for the first anniversary, it's kind of hard to top that one. But, you know, they tried here. Anyways, I'm going to finally put in the mad old doctor, which is going to be right over here. So, let's put his hexagon cubicle here. And click on his button. And get a good look at the boy. There he is, Dr. Bronstien. Ooh. Has his power glove stance. And the back of him, he got his weird backpack. Like, he's ready to go. Man, I don't know what it is, but he kind of looks like a Ghostbuster with that kind of backpack thing on him. Again, crazy mad old scientist. But hopefully he'll turn around so we get to see his beautiful face. Alright, here it comes. Let's take a quick look at him. There we go. Now with that, let's go ahead and talk about his questline, which is entitled
Non-artificial madness. If we didn't already have too many crazy scientists on the loose, let me add another one to the mix. Ladies and gentlemen, let me introduce the famous Dr. Bronstien. You may be wondering what's different from the other loonies in town. Well, they say this guy knows his computers and the mayor seems to rely on him pretty much.
I'm proud to introduce the person delivering the town key for his remarkable research on artificial intelligence that someday will make all our lives easier.
Thank you, Mayor. I am honored by such a pristine distinction. I'd like to thank, well, me, for putting all this effort and control. I mean, improving your town. Itch it. And now, if you'll excuse me, I need to get back into the lab to get the final touches to the web I've been working on for all of you.
"A Jim? Do you mean a him?" Okay. You know what? I'm gonna blame the dialogue thing. I'm gonna blame the translation, okay?
This guy sure is a lab rat, isn't he? Guess you needn't worry about him so much after all. Or do you?
Oh, should we? Animate maniac laugh and play some lights. I know they're not called the lights, but it's the light, okay? Leave me alone. So yeah, there's the spawn scene here. But let's go ahead and do that. He has a bunch of animations, like I predicted in my crafting 101. He has all the animation tasks, like I stated, and surprisingly, he has like 4 animations in total. Like, you know, if you're paying bucks, at least give me something good. So we're gonna watch him go in his maniac laugh, which I'm assuming is probably based on the Junkrat skin. All right, let's take a look at this in the back end. Man, look at how he's walking. By the way, look at this. I'll give the props to the animator. He makes they make it so interesting to look at. I have to dive in to see how many people actually work on this game now. Don't bother looking at there's a close-up of this. Look at him. Man, he's crazy laughing that he's not even laughing. He's just kind of waving his hands up and down like a madman. Maybe he's playing the virtual boy. Oh, that's what it is. That's why he's moving around like that. He's in VR. Crazy techno going in the web surfing, man. It's weird too, because the whole it came from the internet thing. Like, the reason why it's like a weird octopus spider, I guess it's because back in the 90s it was called the World Wide Web. You know, that's the WWW. That's what that stands for. And what was interesting about that is that I guess the fact that these weird, oh my god, it's the fact that I guess it's the weird pun because spiders make webs, and it's like I don't even know why it's even called webs. Is it just because it's like a line of connected tubes? I'm guessing. I'm not gonna be here and spouting like if I know anything better, because I don't. And surprisingly, as of this recording, which is the 4th, so this is like the end, like the day after this event ended on the 3rd. And what's interesting is that the event hasn't popped up or anything as of sorts, so maybe if I'm lucky, that might pop in next week in the beginning of, but we'll have to wait and see, because I know that it seems for me to say, but yeah, with these videos right now, because of how my schedule is, it's a bit wonky. So I know a lot of you back in the day were like creeping out. Oh yeah, man. Before that, yeah, the spider glove, if we go up here, I love the power glove, is so bad. Turns out we got our power glove. Here it is. Remember this? The joy glove? Yep, there it is. Wow. What a great new asset. Anyways, there's that. So we're done that, and we're gonna continue on with our main story here. Yeah, so it's just fascinating. But don't worry about the uploads. They're always gonna come on Monday. I'm gonna try my best, but anyways, let's continue. Hey, Rach. Whoa! And who are our new friends? Welcome to our little home away from home.
Apparently Spider is out there, crawling. Which is weird since we didn't program him to do that.
Also, don't worry, there's not going to be interruptions of that. It just ended like how in part 3 was. That was just only 2 instances. Huh. That is strange. Am I seeing what I'm seeing? He's out there? Leaving its web around?
Do you know how to stop him? You two made him after all, didn't you? Huh?
Well, apparently he's being controlled like a puppet. Time to see if we can't find the puppeteer.
Hey, M. Are you thinking the same as I am?
I hope we aren't, because this would mean real trouble if we are. Animate the artist rival ritual. Reggae tapes, oh boy, I can't wait for that. And the metal tapes are easy, but the reggae tapes, ooh man, I gotta love them. As I made the joke with the smoking of the tobacco. Not the tobacco, but the wacky tobacco. The what I was stating before. A lot of people were scared because I uploaded my video on Sunday, and they're like, "Oh, thank goodness! I thought we weren't gonna get a video." But no. See, the issue is that as of like I think I stated in one of my videos that moving forward now, my schedule is gonna be wonky. Where 1 week I'm gonna only have 2 days off, and I'm working the long weekend. And then the other day, I only work 2 days, and then I have 5 days off. So it's an interesting trade. So basically every 2 weeks I work 7 days, and the other week I have 7 days off. So it's a weird balancing act. I think it's weird because they try to call it a consequential shift, but it's not really, because a consequential shift will require you to go from days and nights, but this one kind of stays in one location period. But it's like 2 on, 2 off, 3 on, 2 off, 2 on, 3 off. And then it repeats. It makes sense when you find it, but yeah. But anyways, when you go with the one of the problems when it comes to me stuttering is the fact that you can't understand me. But what I was really going to go off with is the gnome garden scene. Even if you buy the $1, it's like 70% of a drop, and I can tell you I have not gotten a whole lot. And as you will see in this event, I basically just been spending my cash on this because I was like, you know what, screw it, I'm not gonna sit here and grind. It's cheaper for me to buy the dang thing. Anyways,
Initializing Spider Protocol. Deploy worm over town's operative system. So it begins.
wonder what will happen.
Okay, my registry's set up. Now, where was I? Oh yeah! The memory erasure program. So x equals square pi over y plus x, and then multiply the factor for 10. That should be around 5,640 milliseconds to get inside a human's brain.
So what, that's like 5 seconds?
This means my program will be able to erase human memories in less than 5 seconds. Masterpiece!
Okay, so I was right.
So, you're the new scientist in town.
Oh look, it's Shock. Nice to see you, you grumpy old man.
And who's asking? Just a colleague, mate. Gee, this one's got a temper, eh?
What, are you talking to me now? You're now acknowledging my existence? Hey, Shocky boy? I thought you hated people like me. Alright, whatever. Get some blue pills, play some servers, and animate a new animation, which you're gonna see. I'm trying to remember what it was exactly. We're gonna find out once I get these two to give me, like, I clicked on him particularly because he gave me blue pills. Mrs. Mara doesn't though. She gives me chips, which I don't need. So anyways, yeah, you know what? Besides the random drops you get from the scene, not the scene, but the arcade thing, you can only get the blue pills from Mortman, I've noticed. Yeah, so that's about it. I think I was gonna look here if, oh yeah, see if I can actually buy this now, which I can. So I got the most expensive item out of the way, so that's a giant boombox, man. Oh, gee, I wish I could say what I wanted to say, but I can't because I know certain people watch me, and I gotta keep parental control invited. So anyways, He's gonna be remote hacking. Alright, so this is an interesting one. He does this weird sci-fi kind of move. Like, you'll see what I mean. Like, look at this. Look at this animation right here. He's just kind of like doing this weird... It's like that weird science fiction thing that you see them doing. It's like, I'm going to bring a screen up here, I'm going to do this, and then minimize that. And that kind of coolness there. If people are wondering, how is that possible? Well, he's wearing technical gloves, okay? So there's reason to believe that. Oh, and the first item I got, spider masks, which is pretty much obvious. Like I stated, was going to be the first thing I probably would get grabbed. I also want to say a lot of people appreciate with my videos when it comes to the crafting 101s, which is good, because I've gotten the comments from a few people that are like, man, I'm so glad you got to do this for me, because I didn't even think about certain items that you said, but then it kind of made me rethink and able to do stuff, which even I was doing that too. Like, I was looking at the whole thing and I'm like, oh, okay, so I didn't even realize that was going to be a problem. And then I looked and I'm like even this event here, I didn't even realize that the reggae tape was the only thing, even if you're a premium player, that you have to deal with this nonsense of the gnomes. I still, okay, you know what, like, on the one hand, I appreciate what they're trying to do is kind of incorporate some of the scenes that are in the game to be part of the event. But on the other hand, it's also weird because of the whole bizarreness of everything going on. Like, oh my god. Right. So the gnomes are gonna go and do their thing. And, yeah, a lot of stuff is going on. I mean, not only will I have to look at what's coming up in June as an updates, but, you know, I know what's coming up in June, but, when this video comes out, I'm hoping by then the update is either revealed itself or we already have it, but we'll have to wait and see. To give you context, the Atoms already gotten their event up, and it is a camping event, as I would have expected it to be. So, yeah, there's that. But, a bunch of nonsense rambling just to get this whole thing going, and I believe we're about to go into the new quest, so let's dive right in.
Just imagine all these people walking the streets, not remembering their names, their homes, how to talk, or even eat.
I added the last coughing bit on purpose. Humor.
I'll need to keep track of time in all times, because there is a valuable that can alter the factor. Makes sense, yeah?
Whatever you say, Boffin.
I'll travel back in time and inject the worm on Rachel and Mark's program when it's still being started.
Okay, so you're basically Doc Brown now?
I'm sure Mark won't notice the code that makes Spider turn into a malware AI. How? Because, well, maybe I didn't teach him everything after all.
He is evil, so you need to place the warp tunnel because this animation is going to require the warp tunnel, which is to go back in time and back. So this is an interesting animation. I do like how they did this here by blending it in. Like, here you go. So he's going to open up, goes in, and he's going to come back out. It's kind of cool how they kind of make it. It would have been even cooler if it was really more animated at the base, but whatever. I mean, get what you get. What I will mention before is that boffin that Curly was saying. At first, when I was looking at it, I was like, boffin? What? I looked at the definition of boffin. That is correct. He's using it in the correct term, so don't worry. Apparently, whoever wrote it was like, oh yeah, me gonna be smart. Gonna use a word that no one uses in the English dictionary anymore because why not? So it is interesting that one of his animations, or not his animation, but one of his quests for Brownstein is to literally give me the spider glove in question. That is just easy. And yeah, at some point I'm just like, you know what? No, I'm not gonna go bother with the gnomes. I'm just, you know what? It's gonna be cheaper to buy the thing. And then at some point I'm like, you know what? No, it's even cheaper if I just go buy everything all at once, right? And that's kind of a bad mindset to have. And as you'll see in my review where I place this event overall, what person in question at the moment, I am trying to remember who exactly, because I think it was on the Facebook pages, because I was in one of the forums. The person was talking is like, where exactly will this thing be? And I will let you know after this pops up.
That's done. I like these kids, but they don't understand the purpose when the time comes. It's all about the purpose. They all need to understand.
I still don't understand what it is. You're saying that people understand. Why are you doing this?
The purpose.
Alright, the purpose, we get it. Jeez, I think someone stole you the mad scientist role, Shuck.
No way! I won't go down without a fight. Who does this shorty think he is anyways?
Gotta love the love-hate relationship going on here.
Don't worry, Professor Nobody. I'll introduce myself soon enough. You just go and make some popcorn for when that time comes.
Okay, wow. I thought Shock was a dink. No, now this guy, he's Super Richard.
Unbelievable! What a disrespectful devil! I'll get the popcorn and work on something special for you.
I love he's still doing the popcorn thing still.
Yeah, whatever you say, Grandpa. See you in the future.
What do you mean, Grandpa? You're old too. In fact, I think you're in the same age.
Hey, cut it out, you two. We're supposed to top the player's scarometer, not scatter its power. Now, both of you, get to work.
I love how Slappy just comes out of nowhere too. I guess he didn't run away, as I suspected. Obtain the AI core, which means you have to do the scene. Obtain cider gloves, which is easy because you're going to have to do one of the animations to get it anyway, so it'd be ridiculously easy, which is the command spider. And we have to do the happy thing in order for the quest, so this is his last animation he can do. Which is, man, does this remind you of anything? I don't know. Maybe if I zoom in and play some song, you might get the reference. Looks like somebody went into the Rick and Morty universe and stole the porter gun. There's no way that's not a reference to that, because just look at it. Look at the portal. Look at the fact that he's shooting a gun and he's just splitting it in there. There's no other way to look at it like that. So it's an interesting animation, but you know, he's Doc Brown, he's Junkenstein, he's like three things in one. Isn't that great? Isn't that what you want in a crazy scientist, man? Right. So what I was saying before the quest interrupted me was a lot of people were, one person in particular was concerned with the fact that I wasn't really telling you what my views were. I think the last time I did it was back in December with my event that I dealt with. And the reason for that is, and I think I mentioned this before, is during my 2019 in review for the whole thing, there wasn't a whole much to do, and my plan is that near the end of the year I was going to make a bigger video that's talking about everything about the events of what was the best prize, the best animation, or not the animation, but the best overall event, all that stuff. And then near the end of that, I will actually show you where everything placed overall for that year and where it placed in general for the game stuff. So you see all the places it's been. And I guess this makes it more interesting. So what I've been doing instead was I kind of give you a hint. So if you look back in 2015, and if you've been keeping track of where the items were placed on my list, you can get a good idea where it's placed. What I think in this this review coming up for this event, that it came from the internet, I think I even tell you exactly where this event lies overall. I think there was one event in particular. I love the fact that both of those two are like merging in together. They're just following the same AI pattern, that they're kind of going in and out from each other. That's just so weird to see, but regardless. So, yeah, I think what I mentioned there is that previously there was an event that was like in the middle, and I feel like because of how many events we've had thus far, this is now the new middle ground. I'll go more into detail as of why, but needless to say, if you've watched through my questline reviews and all this stuff, I think you get a good idea of why it might be in the middle. Oh boy. I mean, the fact that I had to create my own stupid logo for this event should tell you something that, ooh boy. What I can tell you though is that I think I've seen what's happening next event, and they certainly are bringing back the, everything's gonna be back, so don't worry about that. Anyways, we're gonna continue on with, professors.
Like if I needed a wooden doll to tell me how to control this town. Let's see what we got here.
Inject Morty Town OS. Check.
Travel in time to corrupt students. Project. Check.
Set up Spider's AI behavior. Check.
Making popcorn for Professor Nobodies and me's to enjoy the show. Haha. Check.
What do you mean, make popcorn? Shock was the one making popcorn. You did nothing.
Hey, you'll pay for this. Trust me on that one. Now, pass me the popcorn, damn it.
Okay, you know what? I'm gonna let him slide with the damn it because he's an old man and he can get away with that. But the kids, with a bunch of these dams. Oh man, somebody really likes using that word, don't they, in their vocabulary?
The time has come to ask you, HorrorTown, are you ready to feel the unknown face of fear?
Okay, now you're contradicting yourself. First you're like, everyone's gonna know my name, and now you're like, oh, you're not gonna know who it is. It's like, make up your mind, dude. Oh my, you are insane.
Start running for your memories, because when my virus catches you, the last thing you remember is Spider's eyes. Ha ha ha. That, I'll just turn you into a web crawler. Depends on the mood strikes.
Now, rise, my beautiful virus.
To obtain the virus and have him do this, so it's a very easy final quest to do. And so what, is the computer talking like him now, or what's going on there with the computer dialogue screen? And the other thing I wanted to address is the fact that I do appreciate how Brownstein is really insane. He's like, he might be a technical genius, but oh man, it hurts my brain thinking about what he's trying to do because it makes absolutely no sense. Oh yeah, and here's Spider EXE. Oh no, spooky! Woo! Get the Spider Arcade. I have all the items I want, but I need the reggae mixtape, so yeah, I'm not gonna do it. Anyways, with that, we should be getting close. I don't really need to get the virus like that, but, you know, it'll make it easier for me to do. So, yeah, now I'm going to have him do that long quest thing, which is going to help me long run to get the final prize, because it does require the spider gloves, which is a recoloring of... I see what Brownstein did. He just took the joystick glove made by Selma and just colored it, and it's like, oh, this is my creation. It's like that GIF. It's not the GIF, but it's like a little joke animation where it's like, hey, I made this. He's like, you made this? Yeah. Oh, hold on a second. I'll be right back. And then the guy's looking around. He's just like, I made this. That's exactly what this is going on here. So let's finish off with the quest line and see if I was correct with the book, if it stays true. Wait, this cannot be true. It couldn't be.
Mark, what is it? Did you find out who's controlling Spider?
I'm still tracking all the possible IPs and routing it back all change files in our building. I'm not sure yet, but it's looking bad.
Seems like him and I are going to give their best fight to save this town. Well, I wouldn't like to turn them into my crawlers, but if I have to, I will. I have to give it to you two. This beauty is a dream to control. Such a perfect vessel for my revenge.
Your revenge for what? What did this town do to you? Or, for that matter, why are you... whatever. Dr. B, you have to stop this. You don't know what Spider can do.
Oh, Mark. Always looking out for me. I see you as two as my cobbers. Always there for me. So allow me to return the favor. We'll stick together. Forever.
What is happening to them?
They're turning into squid monsters. I think they're his minions now.
You weren't expecting that, huh, my dear students? Ha ha! Oh, where was that damn command? Ah, here it is. Now, my web crawlers, attack!
Oh, that's why Mark and that's why Mark is the web crawler and not Rachel, though Rachel is going to explain that she is. I don't know what happened to this game. This is qualities all over the place. Anyways, I'm gonna have Marty do the Boombox animation, get a crafted Boombox. And I thought it was gonna be the non-official thing, but oh no, stupid me. Also, you just need to play the Internet Cafe, so it's going to be real easy. And if you hold off on the tapes that you needed, then you'll be like, oh, now I can craft this and wait for about 5 hours to get. Oh, man. Sometimes some things you just gotta love. And don't worry, the dialogue for this is going to get even more insane. Don't you worry. Oh, boy. At one point, I'm even going to play a game with you if you can guess which of the songs are going to be playing. I mean, a lot of the copy, but thank God I decided to, anyways, here's the ending to this whole thing. What? What's happening, Rach? Where did we miss?
Mark, my skin's turning purple and slimy. Ah!
The confirmation right there. She was supposed to be the purple one.
Hey, Dustin,
Chugs. Chugs? Like Chungus?
is that Spider crawling through the streets?
No, that's just Cookie Monster. What did you think, Eric? Not like you just saw this happening in front of you. Maybe he's suffering with the amnesia.
What are you talking about, Eric? Ah! Run! Eric, run!
This is what a panic attack feels like? Ah! I hate screaming. It makes us feel so weird.
Hey, Jim. Sorry. Embrace fears, my fellow students!
What a great story. It just ends just like that. Now we get to get our spider fountain. But let's see if they can stop this mad doctor in the main storyline. Yeah, so now we don't have to worry about that. All 5 of this is done. And, yeah, so that's how much you need. And, some of these I can sacrifice, like that and that. But the other ones, not so much just yet. But now I have to get more of the spider gloves, because even I forgot how much I needed. So, oops on that one. Right, so... it gets so bizarre, this whole quest. When they find out why they're going to need the boombox, it'll start to make sense. And I think what I was about to say before is that if you remember at the beginning, these are all 3 of them in the search box and what they look like. Surprise, no. They're not screaming like Pat was there. But anyways, one of the interesting things about this was the fact that the whole... Oh, and by the way, don't ignore me doing the Mark the Bark tree. That was for the creep. So, yeah, that was taking place during this to get that dialogue thing going there in the past. But, alright, we're going to get into the continuation of this whole quest line here. But his dialogue changed because they start to reveal that Spider is Brownstein. So, that's why the change in tone.
Run, Selma! Back to the lab! Marty, quickly! Get in here! No way! My grandma gave me this rad boombox, and it ain't going nowhere with a bunch of nerds! Ha!
Foolish mortal, you should have listened to your friend here. Now, time to suffer my wrath.
Are you tired of those pesky stains?
And today's forecast calls for...
And then he just crawls away. Wow. What just happened? That was anticlimactic.
What did just happen?
Ah, me no words. Me good grammar. Me caveman.
Okay, I guess that monster couldn't handle all my coolness and glitched away.
Yeah, that's what it was, Marty. You were just so powerful. Nothing to do with the boombox, huh?
Wait, Marty! It's a boombox! That's it! It must be what drives Spider crazy.
If we can trick it into coming near Spidey's lab...
We can then use an ultrasonic blast to blow its system. Ultra what? Huh? Now I'm confused.
Oh, my brain hurts. Maybe use big words.
Interesting discovery, kids. I actually know of this Brownstein fellow a long time ago. He's a nut job. I'm not surprised at all.
Well, at least Frederick actually explained something that we can both agree on. He is nuts. I can't understand anything he's talking about. The definition of insanity, man. That's who he is. So anyways, we need to place the scene if you haven't, which we have, and we need to get 4 of the eggs, which means we're going to have to borrow good old Fleshman to spawn this, and the story gets so really dumb. If you thought that was bad, don't worry, it gets even worse. I won't, okay, I'm going to spoil a little bit of ahead of time, but I want you to get a good guess. There's going to be a lot of music references, and because I'm going to distort it a lot, maybe you can get a good guess of what exactly this is going to be based off of, because, oh my god, especially the ending, I think I did a great job with this one. So, I wouldn't say this would be my favorite video I've created, but certainly near the end of this, it was really worth it. So, although, yes, at the end, this event was all over the place in some of its aspects, and it had good potential, I will admit that the ending making this was fun, especially reading that and having to go, oh yeah, be caveman, ooh, ooh, ooh. Just because it just, I can't help it. I read it and it just sounds like caveman speak, you know? Oh my god. Anyways, yeah, so Mr. Fleshman is going to be doing his stuff with the weird crab monsters. I still remember the actual baby monsters, the baby squeezers, and they're like, oh, they're adorable, and then you get to these monstrosities, and you're like, oh god. Right? I still love the little statue there, by the way. Anyways, Mr. Fleshman, I'm going to have you do this for taking a bath. Man, I remember I pointed this out too, but I love the fact that he's taking a bath in open field, and I put it next to Shader's shop. So he just does this animation, and everyone just doesn't care for the fact that he's an alien. They're like, oh yeah, he's just there. It's weird, because some of the storyline just... It's like, sometimes it wants to ignore plots happen, but at the same time, then it remembers certain plots. And as I explained before, I think what's going on here is that I did have some help with some of the dialogue when it came to Rachel's stuff as well as the main story, but what ended up happening was a lot of, I guess more than one person ended up coming in and trying to add the story, so it's like, oh, I like this, but I also like this, and then we kind of add it together, so that just becomes this web mangled up mess. And what a great analogy when it comes to this whole event here. It's just a mangled up webby mess of nasty and sticky and electric stuff that just makes no sense to when I'm explaining this, because I don't know anything anymore. Ah! Anyways, after that little meltdown, yeah, so now all we have to do is just finish off with the main questline, and I will also mention that the end of the questline will give you a hint of what's coming up, and I will also give you a hint of what's coming up through the showing you scenes. And yeah, it just ends off of oh, by the way, there's the. It's like it goes from ending it on like, oh, like you'll see, Curly will give his send off, and then it ends with the twist. Oh, by the way, here's this next coming up, right? Because I'll tell you this, the end message going on here is a lead up to the next event, and I think what they're going to be doing now is that because they planned these 2 months in advance, it seems like they're going to give you a hint. If you complete the main event thing, you end up kind of getting through the quest line, or not the quest line, but you get an idea of what's coming up next, a small preview, as it were. And what's interesting too is that if you do play through the main event at least, you can get some cash out of it, some of the quest lines anyways, so, I mean, I don't know, I mean, anyways, let's just, we'll listen to the weird story.
No way I will let this happen to you, Spider. Here we come, aliens to the rescue.
Okay, first of all, why are you doing this? Second of all, why are you in your human disguise? Third of all, why aren't no one noticing that this guy's still around and still doing this stuff? You would think that maybe they would have some sort of control over him.
What? You are an alien? You're on our beta.
Nice to see you just came out of nowhere. I thought you were a purple web crawler, but no, you just turned back. I guess you turned into a human real quick and then turned back into purple. I love the fact that my dialogue is mixed with another person's dialogue. Okay. Minus the graphical errors here. This is what happens when you have two people doing the story at the same time. You get this jumble up mess. It's beautiful. Enjoy it while it lasts.
What? Huh? Hey, it's not my fault. I didn't do it.
Oh, nice to see he's back up to... How did he get back to normal, by the way?
Easy, Dustin. You're out of danger now. That Brownstein, teacher of Rachel and Mark, has turned them into web crawlers as well. But we're coming up with a plan.
There's updates all over the place.
And all thanks to Grandma.
Not to be confused with the alien grandma. No, it's basically Marty's grandma. It's in the storyline. It does make sense. She's not in the game, by the way.
We got your back, Spider, my fellow body squeezers. Today, you become heroes.
I guess it's true what you say. You're a hero in your own story. Also, the only grandma that actually exists in this universe is that of Emily's grandma. She was supposed to be the alien grandma too, by the way.
Let's see. Where did those little brats go?
Oh no! I fell down and now I can't get up. I hope no one comes to attack me as I am totally defenseless.
Yeah, very not noticeable. They're good acting skills.
Aha! Now I got you!
Now, Spidey!
Okay, so now we have to place a giant boombox, get the spider gloves, which we're going to do anyways, and get the bug spray, which is easy to say than done. What follows after getting all these items is the most beautiful thing you will ever see, and in a spectacular way. I know I'm kind of hyping this up, but believe me, you'll enjoy it. So, let's have a fun game. I want you to go and comment down below once this scene comes up. Name me all the bands and the songs that get portrayed in this little gimmick thing here. Because, the rock, the metal, the reggae, that wasn't there just for random. This is going to be 90s nostalgia wrap-up trick as well as the 80s. You'll listen to this and go, oh, I remember that. And it's weird. It gets real weird. And it ended off at one of the most meme-worthy songs. And it ends in such a beautiful way. I will leave it up to Les, but all I will simply say is that I did use this effect before back in March. In the beginning trailer, so you probably get a good idea what's coming up. Oh boy. Yeah, so this is a Mark pack, by the way. I will show this off, but at some point they decided to go, hey, you know what? Let's have both Mark and Brownstein have a pack. I'm gonna go more into detail and show you exactly what that will look like later on in this part for both Brownstein and Mark. But I guess at the end of the day, they're like, okay, we know that these packs are expensive, so here you go. You can have this for cheap then. How about that? Oh yeah, so I also got this pager. I think I mentioned, and this is what I was talking about here too. So this is what they all look like. Ignore the weird background there. But yeah, this is what they all come with if you didn't got the Brownstein or Mark. But one of the things I found interesting was that it's so... One person in particular ended up getting all their boomboxes through the fortune teller. That is, if that's not the definition of luck, I have no idea. They just lucked out on that one. The hardest thing to get, they ended up getting it just that easy. Didn't have to deal with any of the bull, just got it. I'm like, wow, kudos to you. Anyways, I have enough now to kind of splurge on that, so now I have to worry about the boombox. So sadly, I can't be the one. I have to get 6 more of these, so hooray. And after this, I will have all the items needed for the final quest. So this is where the fun part comes in. Enjoy the madness that's about to ensue, because once I Oh, right, before. I guess not. I guess we got everything for the graveyard cake, our first grand prize. We got this before we finished the event. Wow, look at that. Happy birthday to you. The second anniversary cake, the graveyard cake. Here it is with the skeleton rock hard or rock on symbol, which I guess is supposed to be the symbol of 2 in a weird way. But okay, that'll be very interesting to see why that is. I'm wondering if it's because of Curly, maybe. Anyways, all right, that was a bit weird. Oops. So, anyways, the only thing I have to think about and do now is just get this this last thing here. And I think at this point I'm just like, you know what? Nah, screw. I'm not gonna even bother to go over there and buy like get these boom boxes. I'm gonna be, you know what? No, I'm gonna just buy all the missing items and just get it right then and there. You'll see what I mean in a minute. So it's interesting. I got all the prizes before I finished the quest. So yeah, I think I'm trying to recall if this is the first time for me to do that, because most of the time I tend to finish the quests off before I get the main grand prize and everything like that, but whatever. Anyways, now we're going to have fun with this, so enjoy the madness that ensues after I did work hard. So here you go.
What the heck? I hope you'll enjoy our anti-spider mixtape, Brownie. Brownie? Wait a minute. Spider?
Yes, it's working! Turn it up!
No! What did you do? My precious creation! It's ruined!
What a way to end it, is this weird songs and then it just explodes. Oh man. My head. What happened?
I felt like I was daydreaming being a squid swimming in the water, scaring fishes.
It's a long story. Why don't we watch The Cavern of No Return and we'll give you the 411. Did I say it right?
Nailed it, Fred.
Guess Dr. B didn't see that one coming, huh, Rage?
Indeed, bro. Put that 5 high.
Animate that and then obtain a pager, which is fun. If you have Mark, you can just have him do the animation quest and then you're done. This is the last quest, by the way, and yeah, what a way to end it is this spider just blows up after, and I'm okay. So I'm guessing what you might be wondering, what just happened. So what I think is going on is that whatever Dr. Bronstien was doing, internet has a weird infamy with that whole dial-up thing taken back in the 90s. When back in the day they had to use the same line as the phone, so what ended up happening is you get this weird noise as I kind of play around with what I kind of did in part 3. And I guess what happened here was that the control waves of whatever he's using it under was using the same wave as, say, a radio. So they had a powerful enough radio to cause an interference big enough to cause I guess, a malware confusion to the point where it just kind of heated up and it blew up. Hence the mixtape, because when you're feeding, okay, and this is true with any kind of software, when you're feeding something too much information, it starts to break down. If it doesn't have enough power to actually compart with that information, it just blows up. And true enough, there is a device that actually can do that. It's called a killer USB. All you do is put this USB into any kind of USB port. It destroys the motherboard in seconds because it does this electrical charge. So anyways, here's the ending to this quest line, and see, here's the grand preview of what's coming up next event.
What a day. Well, at least everything's back to normal.
Wanna bet?
So, you think the mutant's weak, eh?
Oh, look who it is. It's the thing I built it up to. Woohoo! Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
It seems like this story's full of vengeance, isn't it? Maybe the mutants upset this wasn't a comic event. Oh well. Happy anniversary, player.
That's a little nod because May usually is like, what do you call it? Comic book day. Anyways, here's a twist.
Hey, Mom. I got your email, so I'm packing up to move to HorrorTown. See you next week.
Zeke? Who's Zeke? And I love the fact that she's getting paged, by the way. Who's getting text? Well, let's find out.
My boy? What? I didn't email anything to him these days. Oh, well. I could use some warm company on these harsh days. So happy!
Uh-oh. Looks like something's getting set up for next update. What will it be? Who knows? Turn out next time when whatever goes on here. Just like that, we're done. It came from the internet is finally done. All the side quests and all that stuff, all done, all gone. We got everything. We got too much money. We don't know what to do with it. So now it's just a waiting game for this thing to end. And yeah, so that's the hint. Mayor's son. Okay. So during the whole year, the mayor has been getting crap upon crap. Like events just started to kind of wintering down. It's been building up to this one moment. And her son is coming by, Zeke Johnson. Now, I am going to give you a big hint on this. By the time this event, this thing comes out, the event will probably reveal itself. But what you'll find out is that Zeke is actually a name of an actual character within the event. Yeah, and it's like 45, so I was like, you know what, screw it, I'm gonna buy it regardless. So here you go, got the final prize with the spider thing. I just spent 45 bucks on it. It's like, you know what, no, that's cheap. I'm just gonna do that. Not gonna wait anymore. There, see, I'm done. Book's done. Hooray, I did it. But yeah, Zeke is actually a name of a character within the Goosebumps lore. So if you know any characters by Zeke, then it gives you a good idea what exactly is coming up. And it is going to be really interesting how it's going to be pulled off, just from the story and what I see coming up. It is going to be focused on this book, kinda. You'll see what I mean. And yeah, okay, so near the end of the event, this is what I ended up doing. I don't know what this is. I tried to make something out of it, but this is the end result. I guess it's a small little Simcoe Valley that's behind a joke shop or something like that. I don't know. What I also do with these reviews, I look at the items and I see whether or not I can do something good with them. Some events are like, I can only buy one of them and I'll be done. And then other ones are actually pretty good where you can actually use up a lot of them. And what I can tell you is that I've seen a bit of the future, and there is one particular update that might be coming by in sometime in the summer that I'm really looking forward to, because I think some people within the community are going to have lots of fun with setting something up. And it's really, ooh, oh boy. I'm wondering if they're going to keep that stuff there, but we'll see. But it is going to be rather interesting how this whole thing kind of play around here. And, let's see here. There's a lot of stuff. Right. So, we got this. Yeah, so we got everything. So, right now what I'm doing is I'm just trying to build this up a bit to make it look, I guess, a bit better. I'm not too sure exactly what I'm doing. I think I'm trying to make... Okay, you know what I'm trying to do? You see how much money I got up there? The 2261. I'm trying to go, okay, you know what? I'm going to try to splooge on this as much as possible with items, but I don't know what to put on here, so I'm like, okay, I'm going to have to try to figure this out, what makes sense. And I kind of tried to do that, but it didn't turn out so good, so, you know, it just ended up being what it ended up being. You'll see what I mean in a minute. It's interesting, and yeah, it's weird for now, but once space kind of becomes more available, I will fix it up a bit, kind of like what I did back in the there was one event, there was one area in particular that was kind of a mess, but then once that unlocked, I kind of touched it up a bit and kind of fixed it up. And things are subject to change, as you'll see. Some of my older playthroughs, I had the town looking like one way, and then I kind of like, you know what, now I'm going to extend this or take this away. So that's the one thing about this. I'm sure I can make a stream of just me trying to clean up everything, but I think it's like a good organized mess. I'm just going to keep it as such. I know people kind of go into craziness and kind of devise and develop their town to be something like that. So it'll be interesting how this whole plays out. And yeah, and I'll touch this back on again because I'm not going to bring this up during the review. But the land problem is something I'm thinking that they're going to be trying to fix. Part of it too, I think they have to try to ease up on the whole hard currency buying the land and then having other things like balancing it out to have it be easier to get the land itself. I get they're trying to kind of make it so that you're keeping you busy, but there's one thing for keeping you busy and then making something very unfair. They need to fix the whole treasure dealer item thing, as well as maybe something to do with the currency. I guess they're trying to do that in some ways, but for other people they're kind of like, nah, not good enough. So we'll just have to wait and see how everything turns up in the end. But you know, it's a learning progress. Also, the not the spider turret, but the alien invader turret is kind of out of place because it's not supposed to be there regardless, but it kind of is for this purpose. And yeah, so overall, in case you don't want to watch my review for whatever reason, which I don't blame you, because I know some people don't watch part zeros or part the reviews because they're just talking points, and I try to touch it up a little bit, but you know, I don't blame people. Overall, like I stated before, this event was very mixed. It's very all over the place. There were some areas that could have been fixed, and I feel like the biggest issue of why this was the case was that this was the first event that was done outside the office, meaning that it wasn't done with everyone in one area that you can talk to, like, Tim needs to do something. I'm going to go over to Tim real quick and just say, hey, do this. No, now it's all done through different communication lines, so now I have to wait on Tim to do something because I have no way of communicating with him. Like, I'm sure they got this stuff down now, but I'm assuming everybody, and I think everyone, any medium actually had problems with this, and I think now they've gotten used to just staying home working on this stuff. But yeah, I think they've improved. It'll be interesting to see once this event kind of comes through, like when they kind of come back into the whole area. From what I understand from some places, they're slowly trying to open it back up again, but it looks like this thing may not be disappearing anytime soon. It's gonna be hard. I'm gonna be curious to see what ends up happening here. But the one thing I will also mention is that although yes, this pandemic is a bit spooky for its own reasons, what I will mention though is that despite the people getting infected and going like, oh, many of these people get infected, not a whole lot of them die, right? A lot of them ends up kind of surviving through it, so it's kind of a weird subject to talk about, but I try to avoid that type of stuff as much as I can. I know sometimes when it comes to this thing, it's hard because it sometimes relates to, oh, and by the way, selling that for $1, isn't that great? It's gonna be beautiful. I have to deal with that some other way, but don't worry, I'll fix that. But yeah, there we go. This is my area at the end of the day. This is what it looks like, and within a moment time, the whole area is gonna be done within right now. So, just like that, event's over. I unfortunately did not get a screenshot of the event end, or the event it will end and done screen, but it's basically like any other screen. It just shows you the same thing, except now instead of saying a countdown, it just says it's done. So that's unfortunate, but you know, It would have been nice to have captured it, but I don't think it's a lost cause if I didn't grab it or snag it. So, like always, I'm going to show off the fact that these characters, yep, they're all disappeared. Like, you can't do anything with them just yet. They're going to fix this once the next update comes around, and sometime in June. And unfortunately, because the spawn areas take currency to spawn, I can't really spawn the web crawlers anymore. There is only one other character I can spawn, though, and that is Spider. He costs 5 dolans, or 5 of the hard currency. And honestly, you know what? I liked Spider's design, so I'm gonna say, you know what? Screw it. Just for you guys, one more time. Let's see Spider causing, yeah. So see, like, I can't do that because it's not gonna let me. But you know what? For old time's sakes, for the last time, let's have Spider have its fun. There he is. Look at that big boy. He's glitching out on the scenes too, by the way, which is weird. I guess it's just, after being blown up and put it back up again, it's just kind of weird. Here's the other thing too, okay? So we have to assume this thing came out of the computer. Look how giant this thing is. How is it that this thing was able to slip out of the, like, okay, you know what? No, I'll take that back. I was gonna say, how is that possible? But I'm like, no, this thing is a spider squid, and I've seen squids go through one of the most tightest of spaces, and it's able to just squeeze it in through. So it's possible for something this big kind of coming out of a computer screen. So I'm not gonna say, oh, this is impossible, because no, it is. It's magic, okay? It's magical creature monster. What do you expect? He just digitized himself out. It's also weird too, because although this was like a video gaming event, it's a 90s neo-futuristic kind of thing. Not a lot of the whole internet thing kind of got brought up besides minor points, but I think most people don't care about that. But hey, you know what? That's it. So that's it for Spider, and that's it for the event. So, besides the Zeke comment that was explained, let's talk about what might be coming in June. I'll give you the hints, but I'll also talk about what has appeared before it. So, first things first. If you notice, I'm looking at this one character here named Saber. Saber was introduced last year in June and he's still here, by the way. He's still a premium boy. He's very cheap. He's actually very worthy to get just because of that reason. And we got the summer, or the Camp Nightmare event, which is right here, which I kind of made a little camping area, which I'm kind of proud of. So I like that. So that is what happened in June. But this event, I'm showing Clarissa off here, not because Clarissa has anything to do with what's coming up next, but there is a character going to get introduced that kind of resembles that with Clarissa. You'll see when she gets revealed what that is all about. And of course, the mayor is going to get heavily involved with this event because of the spoiler alert. The sun is going to be coming into the event, so Zeke Johnson is going to be one of the new characters coming in. And not only that, but there's going to be something interesting when it comes to what's being introduced. When I do my Crafting 101 for this upcoming content release, I won't spoil of what exactly one of these things are. But needless to say, it is going to be rather interesting. And last but not least, I'm going to show off the scene with Mr. Wood here. Why am I showing that off, I wonder? Well, if you look at Zeke and find out what book he came from, it might end up coming to, oh, that's what it's going on about. Yeah, so that's about it. So I hope you enjoyed this long-winded, crazy experience of the macabre, of this weird quest line. And yeah, it'll be interesting to see this being archived for future sakes, for people to make fun of, and see how bad it was back in the day of looking down fondly. But regardless of that, I think I'll be ending it off here. I'll be seeing you in my review portion of this event. If not, then I'll be seeing you whatever next HorrorTown brings us. So until then, I will simply say Control, Alt, Delete.